Hello and welcome to Cox Local Edition on CNN Headline News. I'm Catherine Falk with Cox Communications. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so pleased to have the Superintendent of the Fairfax County Public Schools, Jack Dale. Thanks for being here, Jack.
Thank you.
So, Jack, we are at budget season again. Budget season is very important to the schools because you get a large percentage of your money from the county, from Fairfax County. What percentage?
We get about 75–80% of our money from the local county government. We've requested an increase in that amount of money from the county government to compensate for all of the enrollment increases that we've had over the last 5 years, where we haven't had any increase in the transfer, as we call it. And so we're trying to catch up because otherwise we end up having to increase class sizes even more. So we've asked for about a little over 8% increase in the transfer from the county. The county exec has recommended about 4.5%. That's what he can do right now. But the county has also recommended advertising an additional penny on the tax rate to probably deal with, if possible, not only our issues in the school system, but I think also the county larger infrastructure issues on roads and construction and Tyson's Corner, et cetera.
Right. And there has been, you mentioned, a growth in the student population over the years. And just next year, it's going to be growing again. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we're expecting another 4,000 kids next year over what we budgeted for this year. The birth rate in Fairfax County is up. We have a lot less out migration and fewer people are moving out into the neighboring counties. And so the net result is another 4,000 kids we expect next year.
And I know you've been partnering a lot with the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors to build those relationships as you go into this budget season. But there are some things that are out of your hands, like some things at the state legislature.
Oh, yeah, the state, of course, now the state is stalemated on the budget. The Senate couldn't pass anything, House did. They're trying to form now a committee to reconcile those differences. And two big issues for us in Northern Virginia, all of Northern Virginia, in fact, gets a little additional state revenue to deal with the increased cost of living to help support salaries, higher salaries that we need for cost of competing, if you will, in Northern Virginia. So we're missing money there in one of the versions. And the other is trying to settle with the Virginia retirement system and what's the appropriate amount for employee contributions, how much should we contribute, because we're all trying to make up the huge loss that occurred in the investments over the last several years. So those are huge unknowns for us at the state level. Even though it's only about 20% of our budget, still it's we're probably looking at variations of $10 to $30 million in some of those issues.
And so if those do not come back, where does the county go for those money?
Well, the only place we can go then is the local county government, because the federal government is all very formula-driven, all based on the poverty level of our students. And in fact, we're losing about $21 million of jobs money from the federal government. People tend to forget, but for the last 3 fiscal years, we've had stimulus money that helped support jobs in Northern Virginia. In Fairfax County's case, it was a little over $21 million, and that'll be lost from our budget. We know that's going, so our only then variable source left is the county government.
Wow. And I know that you have a lot of new school board members, about half of them, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we have, in fact, we just had a retreat recently, a second retreat. The school board, I believe, needs to gel as a team, and I think that they are starting to do that. They've been working on not only their core values and beliefs, what really drive all of the decision-making, but now we're into also identifying the specific student achievement goals, which we've had in the past, but now the question is, do they want to tweak those or adjust those at all? And it looks like they're going to stay intact very much, but we may add some additional areas of emphasis, and we'll know in the next few weeks how that plays out.
That's great. Well, we wish you luck, and thank you so much for joining us, Jack Dale, Fairfax County School Superintendent. And thank you for joining us on Cox Local Edition on CNN Headline News. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and have a great day.